Are you looking to start or have started a YouTube channel but need to create some cash flow now? Today we talk about some monetization strategies you can take advantage of right away. We chat with Justin Moore, YouTuber, brand deal specialist, and host of Creator Wizard about the 6 ways you can make money with your YouTube channel in the next 6 months. All that and more coming up on the VI show right now.
This video is brought to you by Vidiq, the #1 Chrome extension for YouTubers looking for on-point data analysis, research resources, and enhanced video creator tools. Start getting more views in less time today by signing up for free at vidiq.com/influence. That's vidiq.com/influence.
That's right. Welcome to Video Influencers. My name is Benji Travis, and we're helping you build your influence, income, and impact with online videos. Sean and I started this channel to help you crush it on YouTube, and we're the co-authors of YouTube Secrets. So make sure you pick up a copy on Amazon, Audible, leave us a review. Hey, Justin, thank you so much for being on the show. Excited to jump right into it.
Absolutely. Me too. Thanks for having me, Benji.
For sure, for sure. So we're going to get into the 6 ways people can monetize their YouTube channels right away. But I want to ask you first, are there some prerequisites? Are there some baseline must-haves before you get started on these? Even though these are things that people can take advantage of right away in terms of monetizing their channels.
You know, Benji, it's super interesting because a couple of years ago, my advice would have been a little bit different, I think. Before, I would have said it doesn't matter what your technology is, doesn't matter what your camera equipment is, doesn't matter, how savvy your editing is. But I think things are changing, like there's a certain baseline level of expectation, level of quality, level of polish that I think people expect, not just people, but also brands expect when they're working with creators, because there's just a massive proliferation of creators coming, creating content. There was a recent study that said that there's 50 million creators now, 47 million of them are amateur, right? So times are changing, and I think you really do have to kind of step up your game if you want to compete.
For sure. And what you're saying there, Justin, isn't like you have to do that to start a YouTube channel. It's just like if you want to make money from people, if you're asking people for their cash that they earned by working really hard, you want to make sure you're putting on a professional look. And that can really be as simple as uploading content, having a library to take advantage of these 6 methods. So we're going to jump right into it. So the first way you can make money in the first 6 months is editing services. Tell us, Justin, a little bit more about what you actually mean by editing services when you're just getting started.
Absolutely. So you can think of your channel less as a place where you're trying to grow your following. I mean, that can be a secondary goal, but you can think of your channel as your portfolio, right? So when, I think people's mindset are trapped in like, oh my gosh, I only have 500 subscribers, I only have 1,000 subscribers, which first of all, that's great. But second of all, if someone lands on your page and your videos are super polished, you can then, when you reach out to people, let's say it's another YouTuber or even another brand, and you offer to edit their content, edit their videos, you essentially link to some of your videos that you're most proud of. So you use it more like a reel and a portfolio than, using the channel itself, trying to grow that. And that could be, again, a secondary goal that you're trying to do with the channel. But thinking about your channel in a more strategic way, where you're actually offering editing services to other people. My wife and I, are creators ourselves. We have over 1.5 million followers across all of our platforms, and we get lots of emails like this from folks. We've actually taken a couple up on their offers. And so it's definitely a strategy. So email your top 5 favorite creators out there and send them your reel, send them your YouTube channel, and be like, look, I can edit. And you never know, one of them might say yes.
Oh, for sure. And what I love about this one is maybe you have been creating content for a while. Maybe your content is actually really good, it's high quality, but you just haven't had your chance with the algorithm. Or maybe you're still figuring out a few optimization things to get known, get those eyeballs on your content. And this is a perfect way. I totally agree, especially with, we're talking about 50 million influencers out there in the world. There's still probably another 50 million waiting to be seen, be found. And those people absolutely, I know from experience, would love somebody that could edit, especially at a good price. So let's go ahead and get into the second way to monetize, which is affiliate marketing. Now, I'm sure a lot of you understand what this is. If somebody refers you to a product online, oftentimes that person will have an affiliate link down in their description and they'll make some money off of it. The reason I like this is because you can start doing this right away. It reminds me of one of my favorite stories when it comes to affiliate marketing, which is Sean Cannell, the co-founder of this channel, Video Influencers. You know, when Sean lost his job, he got let go from a lot of his contracts. He had literally zero income coming in from the main sources to make up what he was paying the bills with, right? And so he went right into this. And you can do this in really any niche, especially if you know a lot about a certain, technology, or maybe there's a certain niche that you're an expert at. You can build top 10 gifts for, this holiday season. Obviously Black Friday just happened and there's all kinds of sales going on. And if you know what the good sales are, you can do affiliate marketing and make money right away. In addition to that, you can also attack some of the different holidays, right? Like say you're a dad channel. I'm a dad. I've got a family vlogging channel. And say I want to create some affiliate marketing income. I would do like top 10 gifts for dads because I am a dad, right? For those people looking. So affiliate marketing is something you can take advantage of right away. Justin, is there anything you would want to add, or do you want to move to monetization strategy number 3?
Yeah, one quick thing that I would add is a really interesting and exciting new place, a new way to monetize. I wanted to mention this because things are evolving very quickly in this space. Yeah. So my wife April and I have started doing Amazon Live. So we recently it's currently in beta right now, so it's not fully open, but it is a place to watch. So you can actually just go amazon.com/live. And they're doing a bunch of Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff right now. But essentially, they're inviting influencers to create content. And below the video, there's a product carousel. That's crazy. You pre-select what, I think it's a maximum of 40 products you want to talk about throughout the video. And as you're talking about that product, you click it in the Amazon Creator app. And so it's like basically QVC for influencers, essentially, right? And so this is very big in Asia right now and some other countries. And this is a place to watch because I think this is going to explode this space in terms of like live streaming and product recommendations. And again, you make affiliate commissions doing this type of setup. So a space to watch, and I absolutely agree with you, Benji.
Wow, I didn't even know that. I'm definitely going to check that out. You should check that out because, Gary Vaynerchuk in his famous book, Crush It, one of the last things he talks about is different channels he would start if he was starting over, he would recommend. And he was talking at-home shopping network. So the QVC, or, when you're watching a channel. And that's what that is, because everybody's shopping at Amazon. So definitely check that out. But that brings me to monetization strategy number 3, which is create content for brands. Justin, tell us why this is such a huge opportunity right now for people just starting out.
It really is. So if you put yourself in the shoes of a brand these days, right? Yeah. Think about how many social media platforms they have to post content on, right? Twitter just released fleets, right? now Twitter has stories, right? LinkedIn has stories, right? Like pretty much every day. And, Instagram has reels now. It's so difficult for a brand, especially when the marketing team doesn't have a lot of resources. It's incredibly difficult for them to not only pump out high quality content that's engaging for their audiences, but to actually just do the sheer volume. It's like a hamster wheel, right? It never ends, right? And so imagine reaching out to a brand. Let's say there's a brand that you like on Instagram and you notice that they're only posting once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks. Why don't you, and maybe it's not super high quality. Maybe they're only posting pictures and there's no videos or no reels or something like that, right? One strategy you can do is you actually reach out to the brand, and rather than offering to post about them on your platform, you can detach your following. It doesn't even matter at that point. You essentially say, hey, look, I can create content for you. Not only create content, but I can edit it for you. And I will deliver, let's say, 5 pictures or 10 videos a month 1 minute cut downs. I'll do some reels, whatever. They can send you the free product, and you actually create the content for them. And that's the deliverable that you give to the brand, is you're almost essentially like an outsourced content creator for them, but it actually only exclusively lives on their page. So at that point, your rate that you're charging the brand is completely detached from the level of following that you have. And again, you can treat your platform as your portfolio.
Boom. You know, one of the things that people don't understand, especially if you're maybe a smaller channels, when you get a brand sponsorship, the brands are actually paying you for the content, not necessarily your influence, even though I'm sure it's very valuable. But I even know sometimes, like when I'm giving out my rates, I'm always surprised with some of my smaller platforms why I am able to get those rates. And I always forget, it's like, for the brands, they're focused on creating great product or offering some kind of service. So creating content isn't their specialty. And us influencers, especially if you're creating content daily or you've been doing it for years, you have a leg up on these brands. And this is an opportunity for you. And so, Justin, I know you mentioned 50 million influencers all over the world. Think about all the different businesses, all the different brands. And I know right now it's kind of a tough time in the economy, but as things pick back up, they're going to need this content because let's be honest, everybody's at home, right? Everybody's on social media. So this is huge. And I think anybody that isn't creating some kind of income on YouTube can totally take advantage of this if you're experienced as an editor. One
more thing I just wanted to throw in there about this is that as a creator, I think a lot of people take for granted the fact that they know the ins and outs of each platform, right? Like, you know that you can't take the same video that you make on YouTube and cross post it to Instagram TV, right? Or you know that you can't, your video that you make on YouTube is not going to work very well on TikTok, right? Like, there's intricacies, there's subtleties to each platform that, it takes actually being a consumer of that platform to understand what works and what doesn't. So that's a very unique skill set that you can offer to a brand. And basically, you're giving them essentially social media strategy consulting, where you essentially say, like, look, yes, I'll create these content, but I also know what works and what doesn't. You do not want to post this type of video or this cut or this, square format. It needs to be landscape or it needs to be portrait or whatever, right? So, those, don't overlook those things that that you think aren't valuable.
For sure. And you and I have had plenty of experiences working with brands that had no idea how it worked on these platforms. So I do believe, even if you don't have an influence, you've at least consumed content natively on these platforms, and you know so much more than these brands. But hey, if you guys are getting value, hit that like button, comment below which one of these strategies you're going to take advantage of for your channel, especially if you're just starting out. We always want to know what type of channel you are, so make sure you put that also in the comments. But going to the next point, which is go local. So what I mean is this: everybody's trying to get brand deals with these huge businesses, like whether it's a Nike or an Amazon or a Disney. I mean, there's just so many. But they always forget that, just like we mentioned, a lot of these brands need content creators to create content for them. A lot of these smaller businesses need the same thing too. And people are just totally forgetting about it. And yeah, you might not be getting the like $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 deals, because honestly, if you're watching this and these points are something you're taking seriously, you're just in the beginning of your journey anyways. But a lot of these businesses that are local, they need your help now more than ever. And this could be restaurants. This could be like the local hardware store. This could be a local professional, whether it's real estate or some kind of industry. Again, that they're already focused on what their primary business is. So to create content, number one, and then be posting it online is so foreign to them. You could be taking advantage of this need that sometimes they don't even know. I tell people, if you want to make money today, Justin, and you have skills of creating content, but you have no channel at all, and maybe you don't even want to start a channel, but in this case, maybe you do have a YouTube channel, get on that phone, right? And so this has nothing to do with your content on there. I do believe, just like you mentioned, you want to at least have high quality content and a library to show them, but you could be going to town. What it takes you one day to do, it might take them literally months. So that there's a value there. You could be making at least a few $100s per client, and you could probably do 2 or 3 and not even realize you have this skill to offer this local business and that there's this need locally. Anything you'd want to add to that?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out actually to one of my private coaching clients. His name is Bryce Root. He's doing this expertly. So essentially what he is the Northern California small business doctor. Right. So very niche, right? He has spent his whole career helping small businesses in Northern California, like the Bay Area, with marketing services, strategy, getting more foot traffic in the door, you name it. And he has executed this tactic masterfully. So he has some local sponsors who essentially sponsor all of his content. And so it's very impactful for him. It's very meaningful. They pay him every single month. It's like an ongoing sponsor because look, like these local businesses, they don't necessarily want national reach, right? So they don't necessarily care that you have this global audience or whatever, right? Like if you can show that you have a high propensity audience, high concentration of audience in a particular area, that is absolutely like valuable to local businesses. So if you concentrate, Benji, we talk about going niche all the time, right?
Yeah.
If you focus on a very, very niche geographic region,
Yes.
you can absolutely, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, really. I mean, you call them up and be
Totally.
like, look, I am the expert on Detroit, whatever, right? It's something very specific, right?
Yeah.
And then to them, you look like a master because it's like, wow, how have you built up this audience in such a specific fashion? So I 100% agree with you on that one.
Yeah, and I would advise people, do your first client for free, right? Get that into like a little micro portfolio that has nothing to do with your YouTube channel and just do it for free to have something to offer people, right? And I'm telling you, if I had to start completely all over and I wasn't allowed to be on YouTube for whatever reason, I would just straight up focus on this. I would create a service that I would do this for businesses and I would scale it up, and it's totally possible. But hey, again, if you guys are getting value, hit that like button. If you guys are just starting out on YouTube, one of the best ways to really level up is taking a look at your analytics, taking a look at the information, and use a tool like Vidiq. So you saw at the very beginning, Vidiq is a tool Sean and I both use. So go to vidiq.com/influence to download your free Vidiq tool today. I would recommend getting the paid one, which is amazing. So let's move on to the 5th way to monetize, which is be an expert. Justin, tell us why. I mean, this is a lot more valuable than people realize, especially in this day and age when there's 6 billion people on this planet.
Absolutely. So there's 2 points I want to make about this. Number one is everyone thinks that they don't have an expertise in anything, right?
Yeah.
But clearly there is something that you're passionate about, you love talking about. One of my friends, Oliver, summed this up very nicely, which is that what is the thing that your friends can't get you to shut up about, right? What is that thing, right? Because then you can talk at length about that. Clearly you have some expertise, and there is a niche community. There is a concentrated community out there who want to listen to you, who want to hear those things from you, right? And so the reason that is so impactful, and I'll talk about a specific example here, is that so I run an influencer marketing agency called Trending Family, and we actually bring brand deals to family-friendly creators. And there was a campaign that we were doing for a major telecommunications company, and they were seeing a lot of great success with FIRE creators. So if it's financial independence, retire early, right? There's a whole community of these online, right? Who are blogging about it, who are creating online video content about it. And they were seeing a ton of success working with those types of creators because they have an offering that's more of a budget, a value conscious offering, right? So we actually worked with creators who he only had 1,000 followers, but they loved his content. And the reason that they wanted to work with him was less about his organic reach on his page and more because they wanted to repurpose the content for paid media, right? So He got paid quite well. And it wasn't even about how many followers he had or what his, how many views he got on his YouTube video. It was about they took that YouTube video, cut it down into a 1 minute, 30-second spot, 15-second spot for Instagram stories, and ran it as an ad. And so again, like if you have a niche, there are brands out there who I guarantee you are looking to work with creators. Look, you think about a cell phone company, it's like, oh wow, like why would they want to partner with like this type of creator? But you have to understand, brands, they see a lot more conversion when they work with creators who have a very specific content expertise, because then they can integrate the product, they can integrate the brand or service in a more interesting way than just a general like, oh, I'm a cell phone company, like you want to use me, we have cheap cell phone plans, right? Like it's much more about the utility for this specific creator. Like I'm going to save $1,000 over the year if I switch from Verizon to this company, right? So again, having an expertise, having a specific expertise where you are the subject matter expert will earn you money.
For sure. And, it even goes beyond that. Just being an expert at something means that somebody else needs to learn from you. And even if you don't have tens of thousands of people following you on social media or, 10,000 subscribers, remember that is your portfolio. So make sure you put up appropriate content to whatever you're a niche expert at. And you could be selling courses. You could be doing one-on-one coaching a lot sooner than you think, because what people really care about is, are you going to actually help them, right? And again, this is something that we're talking about because we want you to be making money right away so that you can move on to some of those, bigger things, bigger brand deals, right? Starting a business, creating a brand for yourself. But, these are strategies that you can take advantage of right now, especially if you're putting out high quality content that's valuable and you're a niche and an expert. So the last way to be making money is something that I always talk about, but it's a little bit backwards, which is trade till you get paid. Now, you're not necessarily making money, but you're definitely saving money. And a dollar saved is a dollar earned. Why this is so important is because, like Justin mentioned, if you're creating very valuable content, whether it's a local brand or a local business, right? Maybe a national level business or a huge brand, they've got products and services they can offer to you for free, especially if you're in a niche, right? And normally you might spend money on those products or services, but if they give it to you for free, that's money you're saving. So in turn, you're kind of making money. Now, I wouldn't suggest this to somebody with a huge influence, right? Because you definitely want to get paid for the value. But when you're just starting out, there is nothing wrong with this because, by the way, when I first started out, it was like 2008, right? A little bit different dynamic back then, and people are paying for content. But sometimes, especially if you've got a high ticket product, say it's a piece of electronic that's like a few $100s, or maybe it's a service that's $1,000. They're like, hey, we'll offer it to you for free. I mean, $1,000 would help a lot of people out. Anything that you'd say to this, because you're like the brand sponsorship master because of Trending Families, and you would never dare ask one of your influencers to work for free just to get a trade. But what would be your opinion for people just starting out from 0 subscribers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this is a great analog, because I get this question a lot when people are creating media kits, right? When they say, well, I don't have anything to showcase in my media kit of like partnerships that I've worked with a brand. And what I always recommend, I think this is a great addition to that point, Benji, which is that show content that you feel is most representative of what you're capable of creating for a brand. And if that means it was a trade, it was a product trade collaboration, and you weren't necessarily being paid, that's totally okay, right? And it's about building up your portfolio so that you have the experience, so that when that big brand does come knocking, you don't screw it up, right? You have some experience under your belt working with brands, understanding the interplay, doing edits on your content so that the brand is happy with it. So like you said, Benji, like getting some experience under your belt, I don't see anything wrong with that. Heck, I just got a wine fridge and they didn't pay me, but it was like $1,000 wine fridge.
There you go.
And I, talked about it in our family vlog. We also have a family vlog channel, right? And so it's like, that's like, I still do that to this day. That was like a couple months ago, right? So it's like, why am I going to pay for it? And it's a great wine fridge.
I need to connect with you. I need a wine fridge. I've been waiting for a wine fridge for 8 years. I just store mine in the garage. But I love the point you made about having the brand on your portfolio. I kind of mentioned this in the local business strategy. If you're trying to get bigger brand deals, brands want to know that you know what you're doing, right? And sometimes having that brand logo on your portfolio is so powerful, but you don't want to just kind of fake it. You actually want to have content to stand behind, because what if they ask you, right? Oftentimes, one of the number one questions from brands is, when I'm pitching them, is what other brands or competitors have you worked with? They don't really want to work with you if you work with their competitors, but the point is they want to see evidence that not only other brands wanted to work with you, but they want to see what they can expect. So it's the same here. And all these things are things that I would personally do if I start from 0 subscribers. Okay. Now I might have a portfolio of content I've uploaded for a few months, but these are things you can get started right away. And we're about to end here, so make sure you leave your questions. We're going to be doing a Q&A. If you're watching the replay, those are available to people that are part of the VI club. So hit that join button down below. But what would be your last takeaways for the audience, Justin, in terms of when you're first starting out in your first 6 months, before we kind of sum everything up?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is have confidence, right? I think a lot of people, that prevents them from even starting, right?
Yeah.
Because you are never going to get better unless you start, unless you hit publish, unless you hone your craft, right? And so when it comes to making money, you can't make money if you've got nothing to show for it, right? People are not going to gravitate to you. They're not gravitate towards you. They're not going to want to pay you. They're not going to trust you to create compelling content if they can't see what you've done previously. So it really is about building up that back catalog. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. If you've got 10, 12 videos that you can point to say, look, I know what I'm doing. I know how to edit. I can create compelling and engaging content. That's really the biggest thing is you've just got to get started, and watching a channel like Video Influencers and others out there that'll help you hone your craft and improve. That's a great place to start.
For sure. And if you guys want to check out more content from Justin, go to Creator Wizard. He is helping you with everything that creator would need to. Great content. I'm telling you, he's one of the smartest guys I know when it comes to this stuff. He's my go-to. I'm like calling him, and that's why you're getting all this fire information. I'll give you a chance to talk, Justin, about your channel here in a second. But the last things I want to say is just kind of like sum everything up. So number one, if you're just starting out editing services, do not discount the offer that you have to so many people coming online that don't know how to edit, right? Secondly, affiliate marketing. We all buy things online now more than ever. And this Amazon Live thing is game changer. I am going to go do that today. I'm going to go with Judy and be like, hey, we need to check this out. Next is creating content for the brands. Remember, the brands, they specialize in something else. They need you as an influencer, number one, but two, they need the content and the ability to create that content and to know how to post it up natively. Next is go local. Remember, the businesses in your city, in your local area, probably need your services more than anybody because, this isn't what they do. The last two is be an expert. Be an expert, especially in this world where we're all connected. There's so much value in that. And that's also kind of goes along with niching your channel, right? Make sure you stand apart so people know what you stand for. Lastly, trade till you get paid. Do not discount the value you get from those products when you're just starting out, okay? If you got like a few thousand, 10,000 subscribers, maybe you don't. But like, look, Justin, 1 million followers. He's getting free wine fridge, right? Like I always say, $1 saved is $1 earned. Justin, bring us home. Tell us a little bit about what you do on content, a Creator Wizard, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the Q&A.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I focus on the business of being a creator. There's lots and lots of channels out there who will tell you how to get more views, craft the best thumbnail, optimize to the algorithm. But what I have, again, I mentioned my wife and I have been creators for over 10 years. I've ran an influencer agency for 5 years. So I kind of sit on the fence between the business side as well as what it's like being a creator. And I have one of the things that I've noticed over the years is that there's just so much education needed in this space about how to make more money, right? And so that was the whole reason behind the channel. So I talk about things like usage rights and whitelisting and exclusivity when it comes to brand deals and all the jargon with respect to influencer marketing. And one of the things I just wanted to mention here is, I've worked with hundreds of creators and I've helped them earn more than $2 million in brand deals over the years. So I decided to start a challenge called the 14-day brand deal challenge, and it's launching in January. So if any of you guys watching are interested, I am going to be essentially sending out daily emails for 14 days to help you get your next or your first brand deal that's paid if you've never done that. And so, one of the things that I've noticed over working with hundreds of creators is that getting consistent deals is hard, right? It takes a lot of work. And so what I want to, when we start in the new year, I want to get people motivated. I'm going to be sharing my expertise. This is completely free. And so if you're interested, you can go to branddealchallenge.com and enter your email and save your spot. So I'm excited to kick this off next year.
Branddealchallenge.com. That is an easy one to remember. Go check it out. If you guys want to see our last interview, again, we're talking about brands every time we're on here. Go ahead and click or tap the screen right here. If you guys want to go ahead and check out his channel, click or tap the screen right here. As always, we're helping build your influence, income, impact with online videos. Now,